Welcome to the I Travel by Sea YouTube channel. And I'm excited because I am interviewing Vegas Goss. And Vegas and I, long story, won't bore you, but basically, I am a member of a travel club courtesy of Vegas. And so let's get into it, Vegas. So, what attracted you the most about joining our travel club?
Oh my goodness, the most. Other than all of the trips that blew my mind, that I would have to say, literally, because I'm a traveler and I know how much it costs, when I start seeing the prices that the trips were being offered through our club, it just blew my mind. And it was a no-brainer for us. When I say us, my wife and I saw it at the same time. And we were like, oh, we're in. Because we know the power of these clubs and how they can save you money. But I've never seen it like this. It just blew our mind.
And two piggybacks off of what you just said, you and I did not know each other, but we were in the same previous travel club before, and there's just no comparison between the two.
No.
And I have been direct sales or multi-level marketing, and I had said I was never going to do it again. But I love to travel, and like Vegas said, this was a no-brainer. So Vegas, I have to ask you, how many vacations have you been on since joining? And if you want to share with the audience when you joined, but how many vacations have you been on?
All right. I actually, because I knew you were going to ask me this question,
Okay.
I looked it up and double checked and I triple checked. And I'm looking at it on my sheet now. We joined in October of 23. Okay. I know that because it was the week of my wife's birthday. And we were on vacation at the time because of her birthday. All right. And since then, literally, we have taken in 2.5 years 20 trips. As of my last trip, now that's trips and vacations. Okay. So as of yesterday, because I just got back yesterday from Atlanta. All right. And that was our 20th trip.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can tell you, because I work for the federal government, there is no way I've been afford that on my own dime. Period. That's just not possible. All right.
In that short amount of time, 20 trips.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
20.
amazing.
Yeah. And oh, by the way, we got two more booked. And the year ain't up yet.
And the year is not up. So I know one is probably the conference, right?
hmm
And then where's the other destination?
I'm happy to say, and I gotta whisper a little bit. We're going to Honolulu. Well, yes, yes, and we're going there for 5 days, and then we're gonna go to Maui and go to Maui while we since we're in Hawaii, and go to Maui for another 4 days. So we total time we'll be there for a week. All right, just a little,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. See, someone's birthday's coming up, and it's October.
10, 10 days, about 10 days. That's a good amount of time.
Yes.
So we'll have to talk. So my very first time in Hawaii, we did the reverse of you. We did 10 days and we stayed 5 days in Maui, and then we went over to Oahu. So
Okay.
we'll have to talk about I don't know if you got your island hopping down, but
I
it's
get it.
very inexpensive between islands.
Awesome, awesome. I can't wait.
So I'm excited for you. You're really gonna enjoy it. Maui is That's going to be your time to decompress because it's quieter, like
hmm
more relaxing,
Yeah.
and I think you're going with a few of our travel club members, so you probably will need the rest and relaxation before you come.
Right, right,
Okay.
right.
So, with all of the vacations that you have been on
Mhm.
in 20, what has been your favorite? by far?
My favorite, which probably you may already have an idea. My wife and I went to Dubai, and then we went from Dubai to the Maldives. And I can honestly say, I have never experienced a vacation like being in the Maldives. It was just mind blowing. I have never had such peace, and my wife also had such peace. And also, I have to share something with you. I don't know if the people going to be looking at this will know the importance of it. But while we were on the private island, the butler told us, and I'll say it again, the butler told us that, that literally 90% of the food that we would be eating while we're there was either grown there or was born there.
Wow.
It was impressive. And I can honestly tell that, I mean, I was eating fruit or we were eating fruit I had never eaten before. Honestly, it was just amazing the entire time we were there. I've never felt so healthy being on a trip, you know? And then on top of that, the tranquility, that peace of mind. I've never seen water so blue, so clear. It almost looked like ice water. You know, it was just so clear.
Wow.
Yeah, we had a quick story. My wife and I jumped off the because we had our own little villa and on the water, little hut, and we jumped into the ocean, and it would look to be about 5, 6 feet deep. But honestly, it was so clear. The water was nearly 20 feet deep, but you couldn't tell.
Woo,
You couldn't tell,
woo.
but both of us swim, so it was not a problem. But I am just telling you, I have never seen water so clear, and you're surrounded by water. The only lights that we had was the lights that were underneath the hut or inside of our hut. So when we turned on the lights at night, it attracted fish. To be able to see fish that large, turtles, stingrays, all of that right up
Wow.
under our hut. I mean, just every night was like an oasis. It was I can't explain it. It was the most impressive trip I've ever had.
So now I've seen your pictures and your videos. So when he says hut, it is really an over the water suite.
Absolutely.
An over the water suite. And just imagine being over the water. And I want the audience to go there for a minute. And the bottom floor in your suite, you can see down into the water.
hmm Absolutely. And when you take a shower, it had the same effect. While you're taking your shower, the outer rim of the shower was glass. So you could see the ocean floor when you're taking a shower. They
Wow.
actually had it open across the top. So it was almost like a cap over top of the shower area. So you could hear the ocean, you could feel the breeze while you're taking the shower. And then not to mention, there was a lazy jacuzzi tub that in front of a window where it was a bay window, literally where you could slide the doors back, the glass back, and literally it would open all the way up where you could see the ocean while you're taking a bath.
So, like indoor, outdoor living, if you would say.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, just I can't tell you. We can't wait to go back. I really do believe for a lot of your viewers who are always on the go, who's had a lot of because life be life, right? It is the place to go to at least maybe not every year, but every year and a half, where you could just really unplug, decompress completely, and just check out.
And and I want to add that after you all went, just
hmm
out of curiosity, I know how much we say in the presentations, but just out of curiosity,
hmm
when you stay in those overwater, those plane hops are
hmm
about $400 a person,
A little more.
a little more
Oh yeah. When I last checked, they're over $800 that you have to pay per person, depending
per person.
per person. When you land on the main island, like for example in the Maldives, it's called Malay, is the main island where the airport is. Then you have to take a seaplane flight to your private island. That was included in our package. We didn't have to come out, no extra money. And outside of the package, it was over 800 per person.
So that's just amazing. That's
Yeah.
just amazing.
Right, exactly.
After you all went, I went and priced on a regular commercial site. I'm not going to say any names, and
Hmm.
they were having a special, but it still did not beat the price that you all paid. And what also um I don't know what the right word is, but seeing your wife's reaction to when you all arrived and
Hmm.
the just how beautiful everything was, I was like, oh, you know, you know, it was just it was a one it's not going to be a once in a lifetime because our travel club offers that, but um just to know that you experienced that,
Yeah.
before you leave this earth. Like, there's a state and a will attorney, and I was listening to a my church had to ask the pro. It's a long story, but anyway, he had a health scare. And
Mm.
so, because of that, he's now prepping to, I think he was doing it before, but he said, before I leave this earth, I want to go to Africa.
Mm.
So, he's going in August.
Okay.
But to me, that's what travel is all about.
Yeah.
Like seeing all of these places that God created. Like,
Mhm.
I feel like you haven't lived unless you traveled. At least that's my little mantra.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree. Just to quickly add to what you were saying, that is one of the reasons why my wife are traveling the way we do. And especially right now. And knowing that now that we can afford it, okay, because of this membership and this travel club. But to also know, and you may have seen, my wife was a little emotional, when she got there and everything. And for your male listeners, guys, we can be a little slow sometimes. We don't get it. All right. But I later asked her, I just assumed that she, because she had checked off that box. That was her retirement trip. For those who may not be aware, I don't think I mentioned it, but it was her retirement trip. And I thought naturally, because she checked off that living list and was able to actually go, and she was just overwhelmed by everything. No, that wasn't it. In part. But later on, when I asked her, we began to talk about it. And she said what was so upsetting to her was that we have family and friends who believe that they can't afford to take these kind of trips.
Mm.
Yeah, and then this is the bad part. Some of our family members have gone to a little place called Myrtle Beach, like we have before, but we've rented a house and we've had what, maybe 10 or 12 family members go, and literally that's about what, 4 or 5 families. And each group of family members probably spent $3,000 to $4,000 every time we did one of those. And we've done them like 3, 4 times. That last time it was $12,000 for the house. And you divide that up amongst four groups of family members, you're paying, $4,000, right? So anyway, long story short, that trip was less than that.
Mm.
We went to the Maldives. And honestly, I just think people sometimes, we get such stinking thinking, and I think what happens is the world beats us up and we just think if it's too good to be true, it is. No, that's not the case. It's just you haven't been educated. I'm just gonna call it the way I see it. And I just tell you, when you know better, yeah, I can't listen to none of that. And I hate to leave you, but I will. I will. And honestly, and that's what was so disturbing that, we got friends we want to see travel with us and see the world because we know what they've gone through and they deserve it just like we do to be able to see the world and be able to experience this, So you are so right. Once you have that opportunity and when life gets short and you get that wake up call, oh, no, you will make a way. And I tell you, man, this is awesome.
Absolutely. And then I think people are shortchanging themselves if I mean, right now you may not want to travel outside the US, but to see water that's so clear to the bottom that you can see anything, like you don't have to worry about jellyfish and
Mm,
all of those things that
mm-mm.
you can see and just experiences. And going back to what you were saying about the food. Now, I'm on some medication and I'm trying to get off, but when I'm on vacation, I eat whatever I want. And the thing about it, I don't have the same side effects that I have when I have food at home.
Hmm.
I can eat some of the same things, but some the fruit is fresher. The I mean, just eating whatever you want, and you know your ankles aren't swollen or anything like that. It's just a difference, and I think everybody should experience it. And one important thing that we should mention to everyone is that these are travel agent prices without being a licensed travel agent, without having to go and sign up for the travel agent database. And it is a 4-in-1. And so, even though I heard that many times after watching the presentation during the first year, really, our membership is not just about travel. Um, you can get employee discount for a popular phone that everyone has. You can now get cell phone discount. And depending on when you're listening to this, which the tour hasn't started yet, but Usher and Chris Brown are going on tour. And so I went through our travel portal, and I didn't price our area, I priced Atlanta. And I probably should have got the tickets when I saw them, but floor seats in front of the stage in Atlanta was $434.
No way.
$434 for a floor seat in front of the stage. So I didn't get the tickets now, but those tickets, same tickets, are running over 1,000.
Hmm.
But that is just one of the four things that you can do with our travel membership. And you can go to Hawaii and stay for 5 days for less than $1,000.
Hmm.
There
For
are
two
so
people.
many benefits.
Hmm.
But the best part is when I talk about the travel club, and most people instantly think of being a licensed travel agent, I said, listen, I do not make anybody's reservations. They
Mm-mm.
make their own. I do not have to worry about waiting until they actually take the trip to get commission. And I like the analogy of just think about if you were to have invested in Netflix before it blew up.
Mm, mm, mm,
And
mm.
so we use that analogy in a lot of the presentations, but think about that. Just let that sit for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I did take a little homework assignment from you, and I added up all the trips and I printed it out. I just didn't realize it, and I want to make sure I share it with you. All right.
Okay.
All
So
right.
that is my next question,
Oh, okay.
Vegas.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Oh, no, I just want the people to know my question to Vegas was, do you know how much money you have saved
Mm.
in total since joining this travel club? So, as Vegas says it, this is my first time hearing it. So, take it away, Vegas.
All right. So, my background is accounting, and I have an old saying: if it doesn't make sense, it's definitely not going to make any dollars. Okay. And I'm just putting it to you that way. Now, these trips I booked individually. At the time when I booked them, I didn't even focus on, all of what I was going to be saving. I just realized it was going to be much cheaper through our club than going directly through the actual location or through a travel agent. So out of the 20 trips I've taken since March of 23 till just this past weekend, I would have normally spent and I am shocked to have to say this number, is
Woo!
$46,369. That's what I would have spent.
Woo!
Would have spent. Okay. All right. Now, do not misunderstand me. That Maldives trip on average is 15 to 20,000. I know this because I pre-priced that trip before COVID for my wife. And later, after I found out we could get that trip through our travel club, I repriced it and it was still around 15 to 20,000. When I looked at what we paid, which I'll share with your audience now, it was $2,832 for a $15,000 trip.
And keep in mind, if you were listening, that included the island hop.
Yes,
That
yes.
is how much Vegas?
Now,
$800 per
over
person.
$800 per person. And oh, by the way, we did not bring two kids, but you could. But the trip included for two kids under 12. All right. So I'm just saying, if we did not bring two kids, but that, I mean, that's another $800 per. So you're talking over $3,200 in savings that we didn't have to pay for out of pocket just in that flight. All right. So amazing.
And I might add that I've not seen any travel club for the trip to Dubai and to the Maldives. It always includes two people.
Hmm.
So when Vegas says 2,800, that was not per person, that
Hmm.
was for two people.
Yes. Very good. Very good. So the drum roll, please. The total out of pocket for Tavorian for 20 trips that I paid over all that time period, the grand total was $15,900 total for 20 trips total. All right. Now,
Wow.
which means I saved 30, right at $30,500.
Wow.
Right, right, that part.
Wow.
Now this is what I said. I said, well, that's a big outlier when I started looking at the Maldives trip. Let me just take that out and just see what that number looks like. So just without that trip, that's 31,360 some odd dollars. Okay. Which means out of pocket, if I take out the 2,800, we only spent $13,000. Right at. All right, 13,100, which means
For
for 20 trips.
for 20
Right,
trips.
over 2.5 years. Right, right.
And that is not even so that's not even $1,000 per trip.
No, ma'am.
And granted, all of them were not, you know, out of the country because
Mhm.
I've used my very first trip with the travel club. I saved $800. So when people talk about, well, is it 75 or 135 a month? Just think about this. So it's important that Vegas said how much money he saved and how much money he spent. So at the level that I joined at, my very first trip, the savings equals to almost a year of paying for the membership
Wow.
in my very first trip.
Wow.
Mine is about $40. But
Okay.
just think about that for a minute. Let that sink in.
Yeah, yeah. And my goodness. And when I add it up, when I look at nearly saving almost $20,000, that's how much we saved, okay, out of all those trips, without including the Maldives trip. With the Maldives trip, it's 30,000. Okay. So when I look at that, it just blows my mind with the amount of savings. If I look back at all the trips I used to take without being in this membership, eh, okay, we're not gonna get depressed right now. We're not gonna go there. But I'm just telling you, I cannot thank the person who introduced this club to me. Every day, I call them up and just say, "Thank you, man." Because I didn't want to listen. I didn't want to look at one of them things. I didn't want to hear all that. And I tell you, when I finally did and saw, and this was an eye opener for us when we joined. Kathy, had we joined prior to going on that trip, when I actually received a little video while we were on vacation explaining the club, we stayed at a very nice place called the Sonesta in Miami. It was $3,000 actually and some change that we spent for that time period we were there. When I priced it on our site, that same trip would have been just over right at $1,100. We looked
Wow.
nearly $2,000 on a trip. I mean, it just blew my mind. Blew my
So
mind.
look, you can't think about that, right?
Right, right, right. I gotta let it go. But
But you can think about all of the money that you have saved since
hmm
then.
hmm
And I've used it several times. Now, the majority of mine has been in the US, but I did use it for a trip for my husband. And the first night we stayed, I come to find out it was a brand new hotel. Um, and it was $236 a night. And we got $100 off. But what excites me about our travel club is that in comparison to other sites, when you go on there, they say plus additional fees. Got excited about prepaying for the hotel room and them not asking me for my credit card. That gets me excited.
Right, right.
Because you have paid all of the fees up front, they do not ask for your credit card. And
Mm-hmm.
now that's not every hotel, but that gets me excited.
Yeah.
Like you're not putting a hold, and I could use that money for something else.
hmm hmm
Um, so again, that's not. I don't say that. Um, you know, that might not be exciting for somebody else, but it definitely is exciting for me. That like, oh, your stuff is already prepaid. We don't need your credit card. So I like that.
Yeah.
So, what advice, Vegas, would you have for someone interested in joining our travel club and our team?
Okay. What advice? I would say, let's get back to Miss Kathy at ASAP. Because I'm telling you now, the opportunity for you to travel somewhere is going to come up so quick. We're right here at June. Look at how fast we're into summer already, right? Something's going to come up that you really want to go. And honestly, if you don't join now, because of the way our system works, you're going to earn travel points, which is going to bring your cost down for trips and things. And you want to be able to have that. Well, I got to ask you, when will you want to start saving on these trips? Tomorrow or today? Well, probably today, as soon as you can. So I recommend get your questions answered. Take a look at what we're doing. We have different ways of showing you and educating you about what we do and how we do it. Once you have seen all that you need to see, join immediately. They have a 2 week right to review. If you're not completely satisfied with it, they're going to give you your money back. And you know what happens when people that cancel? They come back. The reason why they come back because they know how costly it is to travel. And so that's why they come back. All right. So I'm just being honest. I'm gonna do what I always do, Kathy. I'm gonna look at the audience like I see them online right now. Okay, I'm taking a mental picture. Okay, I've done it. So, which means if I ever see that you've gone on a trip and you have seen what we do and how much we save, I'm gonna look at you slant-eyed if I see you on a trip and I know you're not a member of our travel club because you spent more than you should have, and there is something wrong with that when you already know. I'm just saying. All right. So with that, I highly recommend get with Kathy ASAP. See what this is all about. Let's get your questions answered, and we'll be happy to do a side-by-side comparison and just show you the numbers. And once you see it, oh, you too can make the right decision once you know.
And I'm bragging, not to brag, but I am bragging that we have the number one team in the US in the company.
Yes.
So if you are a US citizen, why wouldn't you want to be on the number one team?
That part.
And and I also might add is that being on the number one team, a lot of as someone who's been in direct sales and different multi-level marketing businesses, one of the reasons that we are one of the that I believe that we're one of the number one is because for two main reasons. We have a presentation every night, 7 days a week.
Hmm.
And so if you feel like, oh, I've been in direct sales or another multi-level marketing, I don't want to do home parties, you don't have to.
Hmm.
You just send them to the Zoom. Just send them to the Zoom and follow up. And it's just as easy as that. That's number one. And number two, we are really like a family. There have been trips where 90 people go on the same trip, or 42 people go on the same trip. And look, boat cruises, excursions,
Hmm.
um, and with that amount of people, can you imagine it? This is just people relaxing, relating, and releasing, not necessarily business, although there are once you get to a certain level, but to see people having fun and enjoying themselves sparks conversation, which was exactly how I ended up joining because Vegas and I were talking about some crypto. We won't talk about that. But as he was wrapping up the call after he was like, "Oh, I don't remember Vegas, so forgive me, but
Hmm.
I just joined this travel club." And I was like, "Oh, I like to travel." In my mind, I was like, "I'm not joining another thing." But if it's something that you already do or aspire to do,
Hmm.
and then Vegas and I both work for the government, and a retirement processor said that people love to go on vacation. They will borrow from their retirement account to go on vacation. They will get a personal loan to go on vacation if that's something that they're passionate about. So why not pay less and travel more?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So now I just have one last question. What do
Hmm.
you think is the success formula for our team from your perspective?
Okay. Well, you've kind of alluded to it already, and I know one, it is the family aspect of what we do in our travel club. You don't have to travel with the team. Let's make this very clear. You don't have to travel with the team. You could be alone. You could be single. You just might want to lay on the beach and read your book. Okay, clearly. Or you can be with the team and the club, and you could maybe jump off a perfectly good cliff into a 25-foot drop, while you're in Jamaica. You can do that. Okay. It's totally up to you. But one of the things I would say that to your point, we treat our business like a family. Okay. And because we treat it like a family, we want to make sure that all of our family members are successful. Okay. So there are ways we have a blueprint to how we run our business. And the way we run it is to help everybody eliminate any fees that they're paying to be in the club. We want you to have something that you just enjoy doing because you want to be a part of it. And there's a lot to go into what people's why are or what they're joining this business for. When I joined it, and I'll just allude to it just briefly, the reason why my wife and I were so passionate about joining is because we've been in several businesses. I mean, I'm talking everything from, like you mentioned, that we're a marketing company years ago, several times because of the low entry point of what it costs to get involved with them. But I've also had brick and mortar business. I've done IT work contracts. I've had government contracts. I've done different working insurance services, and it's expensive to run those businesses with an office and maintenance and fees and all of that, right? Licensing costs. So with that, we work and grind. And my wife, unfortunately, she had lost her younger brother. She was his caregiver, and he passed away just in September, my month of birth, my birthday month. But in October, it was her birthday. So that's the reason why we were on vacation. She needed a woosah. She needed to relax. And we saw a little 10-minute video that explained what this was all about. And honestly, my wife said, and I quote, she said, life ain't fun if you're grinding all the time. We've got to have
Mm.
fun. We got to enjoy it. Our life will go by fast, and we already had an example. All right. So not to get a little sad or whatever, but I just want to point that out. This life of ours is not meant to be, we may not have tomorrow. And if we're not enjoying it the best we can right now, shame on you. shame on you because you will look up one day and go, man, where did the last 5 years go? Where did the last 10 years go? That's why we've been on 20 trips. We were getting it out of our system, right? Because we have been putting off, and putting off because life be life, and sometimes it can give you a right hook, and we get it. All right. So because of the way our team works, we find out what is your purpose. Why are you doing this? Is it to pay off debt? Is it pay off your children's education? Maybe you just need to travel. That's all you want to do. Fine. Then we're going to show you how you can accomplish that and more if you choose to. And because we do take it personal, I think it's because there's two, some of our top leaders, I would say, are either A, former military, or B, they're either, let's just say they love the Lord. And because of that, both of those have two mantras that I believe about: caring for your fellow man. And number two, as my military Marine brother-in-law says, we don't leave no man behind. And I think we just don't do lip service. We show it. And because of that, that's why this little travel club of ours is now over 2,000 people in the DMV area. And we're not even including the other locations. All right. And it's steadily growing in just a short 2 year and some change period. So it's growing like crazy.
So I I keep saying this, but I have been in different, and I've never experienced the family feel or and that we have in our travel club group. And also too, a lot of people don't know this, I think, is that when you're in these multi-level marketing and you go from one group to another, sometimes the leaders can't tell you how to grow your business because their group has just followed them from business to business.
Hmm.
But we really have put in the work in terms of growing and nurturing and speaking to people and the Christian aspect of it, and the owners, I really appreciate that. And I have never been with, other than you see them at a convention, never had owners come because we had so much growth in our group. They came to us.
Yes.
So let that sink in for a minute.
Hmm.
I was so impressed with that. So, Vegas, in conclusion, is there anything that you would like to leave the audience with?
I would only say, and just to kind of piggyback what we've already said before, if any of this information resonates with you, maybe you up on retirement, maybe you're looking to get rid of some educational debt. Maybe we got some student loans out there. Maybe you have, like me, my daughter's 25. Thank you, God. She just get graduated from college, but maybe you have something going in and you need extra money. Or maybe you, like us, we're in the federal government and you need that fill-in and gap up where your retirement is going to come short. Now is the time to get started. And I will say this, for our super professionals, we have several entrepreneurs. We have, I mean, from the entertainment industry, names I'm not going to mention, professionals you would know that are part of our organization, because this one seven-figure earner who I talked to just recently, he told me, he said, look, I've only gotten to seven figures because I watch my money. And if I can save money, this is going to help me get there. I'm already traveling. Now, from a business perspective, he's saving more money for his business. And he said, this is just a no-brainer. That's what it is. If this intrigued you just a little, get back with Kathy ASAP. Let's find a way that makes sense for you to see what this is all about. And then let's get your questions answered. And if it makes sense to you, we welcome you to the team and to the family. And if you want to be with the group, you can. If you want to be individual, you can. It's totally up to you. All right. But we're going to hold your hand and walk you through the entire process and help you to get as successful as you like to be. All right.
Ooh. And thank you, Vegas. Thank you for being. And you will, other than my channel trailer, this will be the very first video on my new YouTube channel. So I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. And I appreciate you for introducing me to our travel club.
Absolutely.